That was worth 0.2. There have been some really pretty sunrises out here so far that I pretty much cannot see due to the trees. The foliage is starting to change. Somebody was saying yesterday it usually changes up here early, so I may outrun it and have it catch up. As nice as it is to have access to one of those privies in the morning, I like camps like this way, way more. The only downside is last night when I was cooking, I had my water bottle out there and it actually rolled down and would have gone off the cliff, except for that conveniently placed log there. That would have sucked. So it is overcast today, but the weather forecast is basically the same. Tomorrow is saying rain throughout the day and then ending in the evening. So we'll see. It's the only day on the current week forecast that shows rain. I don't mind a little bit of rain, but when you're going through vegetation like this, it tends to soak you pretty quick. So glad it's only one day for now. Okay, a little chillier this morning. I am going through phone battery quite a bit faster on this one because, as expected, stuff out here isn't real wilderness, I'm in the woods. There are houses, there are cell towers down the hill either side, so it's hard to forgo the temptation. I did notice something kind of interesting when I was more local this last summer, and I got to do a few Sierra Club groups and just seeing others and talking to others. Now, anybody with a modern phone can basically satellite text at the very least. T-Mobile is working with Starlink to have full-on internet. Now, when through hiking, and that is why my pace is so slow. While through hiking, being connected is actually an advantage. You get plenty of time in dead areas. And quite frankly, when I'm out for 150 days, being able to connect with Jen, etc., periodically has been useful. And the satellite messengers have helped myself and others when I've been around injuries. However, for example, when we lead the final wilderness travel course outing to snow camp, when we went up the hill, we were out of contact for 2-3 days. And this summer made me realize that that's basically gone away. You're sitting at a remote Sierra camp looking around and people are on their phones texting. Which, everybody should do what they want to do. I'm not saying it's wrong or anything. I'm just, it struck me as notable because in the past, even if you were in a group you didn't gel with that well, people tended to socialize more. Because for lack of a better term, you're stuck. I used to joke, oh yeah, this is why I lead trips. People are stuck with no option other than to listen to my jokes and stories for days at a time. But yeah, now these services are free, so anybody that has the last 2-3 models of iPhones or some Androids can just unlimited text back home, and that's only going to get more and more available over time. And again, there's good and bad, quite frankly, with a lot of the things in the world going off into the woods and not hearing about any of it has actually been a relief. I remember when the Russian invasion of Ukraine started, for example, I was really concerned that was going to escalate quickly for various reasons. And going off into the Sierra and just not having constant notifications in my face, etc., was kind of relaxing. But on the other side, years ago, I was leading a trip. We were going into the Sierra for 3-4 days. And kind of tragically, about 10 minutes after we all went out of contact because we were headed up into the Sierra past where the cell towers reach, all of our phones had a voicemail because a friend's mother had had a stroke, and it was saying, pass this along, please. He needs to come home immediately. And we didn't get that for, 3 some days. Oh. Now, in that case, the mother survived, lived for a number of other years, so it wasn't as tragic as it could have been. But I've seen family members when they kind of lost their chance to say goodbye to somebody. So, for better or worse, like I said, it kind of feels like an era's ended and I just noticed. And again, I've had an inReach for years. I had a Spot device before that. And ever since those became two-way communication devices, I send a ping every night just so Jen and my family aren't worried that I've disappeared. And start messaging everybody on Facebook trying to figure out where I am. And they've always had the ability to text me at that number. And I would get a message at the end of the day when I sent that ping again. But that was a, $12 a month at base subscription. Unlimited texting was $50 a month plus a $350 device. And if you didn't have that plan, because we keep the lowest plan because we don't text that often and just pay the overages when we do. Each text message is like $1 each way, I think. Might have gone up because Garmin seems to be trying to profit while they still have a service they can charge for as a standalone. But yeah, that meant we did have the occasional people who had one of those, but it was mostly just check-in pings at camp, not, hey, how you doing? Oh, nothing. Sitting at a lake up in the Sierra type text. I missed snow camp this year because of the surgeries, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm kind of expecting next year it's just going to be people, on their phones throughout the outing, which is kind of unfortunate for the social aspects of those trips. Jen disagrees. She doesn't think it's that much of a shift, but we'll see, I guess. It is not oppressively humid out here or anything, but I am sopping wet. So it's coolishly humid. One of the things I always luxuriate in when I am out west, basically anywhere past that line in Kansas around the 100th meridian, is that gear dries out quickly. So it rains, you're sweating like crazy, anything like that. All you need is 30 minutes in the sun and everything's dry and salt encrusted. Versus out here, one of my enduring memories, oh hey buddy, is putting my shirt on every morning and getting a blast of what smells like ammonia from, I guess, the bacteria that had grown in the wet material overnight. I am really enjoying this through here. So much mist poop, couple of tracks. Just feels very what I associate with at least a chunk of the AT. I guess a part of the AT that was memorable for me. This was what I was picturing when I was like, oh, I'm going to go back to Vermont and do the long trail. And I don't even remember if any of that was the Vermont section of the long trail, because other than the junction where the long trail comes in, where there was a sign, and the border and the inn at Long Trail. That's the only thing I remember of that portion of the trail without looking at my videos or pictures or anything. It's not supposed to really be any colder today, but sure feels like it. Yeah, I don't know if this looks as steep on videos in person, but fun times. Not as bad. Through hiking luxury. Wow, jappy dog at that shelter. Planned this conservatively, but I will say I was hoping to do a little faster mileage than what I've been doing. The trips in the Sierra, I had straightforward trail, you know, it's hard, high altitude, etc. But I can generally walk along and I've got muscle mass back. But some of the scrambly stuff has been a bit of a challenge after the issues I was having with my left foot that we think are spine related. But hey, I'm out here. Even if I'm just end up doing 10 miles a day, I can still do my plan. Just ran across another northbounder and was chatting. He warned me about the wasps I'd seen comments about. He said he got stung a bunch of times, so I need to watch out near Round Top. And I also asked him, you know, like roughly what his daily mileage was. He said it depended, but 10-ish. And he also related there was somebody at the start who was going to do the entire thing in 19 days and completely blew that. So yeah, I didn't actually look much as far as what the daily expected was, other than I saw something by, I think, doing miles saying they made less. But it's so relative. You know, different trails are different. I know people who altitude kicks the crap out of them. Jen is younger and in some ways stronger than me, but generally going up the big passes, I'll beat her by, 10, 15 minutes. So, is what it is. Good news is next resupply is set, but I can supplement. And then after that, I'll be able to adjust once I have a better idea of what my pace is going to be. When I was near Monson on the AT, I got stung by some wasps that came up out of the ground out of nowhere. Had 2 stings before I knew what was going on. And I actually swelled up to the point where I was concerned my throat was going to close. Like I had hives that were spreading up my torso. which is funny because I have been stung by a lot of bees. I usually joke that as a child, I threw things at bees' nests and I would run away, and I wasn't a fast child, so I had been stung a fair amount of time, but that was freaky enough. I mean, I was sitting there, all I could take was Benadryl, didn't have EpiPens at the time, and for about 5 or 10 minutes, I thought I might be in real trouble. I ended up scrambling and getting EpiPens at Monson. EpiPens that I have not used since, they actually expired. I ended up getting some generics before coming out here, just remembering that incident. Okay, so this tower is supposed to be one of the better side trips on the long trail, so that was worth point two. Oh yeah, I am glad I came out here. Oh, and it looks like the fall colors are starting. That's the funny thing out here. I've been in the forest with almost no views. I think that's mostly the way I came. I assume that's Jay. I think I can see the building. That totally lived up to its reputation. And now I get to do 1,500 feet, basically straight down, looks like. So it's 2:30 and I've only done 6 some miles because slow going. With the drop, there is a shelter in about 5.3 miles. I think it's Spruce Ledge. So rough plan. Drop down, get water there. Try and find somewhere to camp after that, but nearby. But we'll see. I am just taking it as it comes. That's nice of them. It's a nice sentiment, but unfortunately it was hot chocolate and some cider. I actually would have been appreciative of snacks because I am officially a little behind where I thought I would be. Should have packed an extra day of food, I guess. Oh well. I would actually like to be stopping early. I have some cheek chafing. It's not really responding to my anti-chafe. It rarely gets better if I have to push it, but if I'm going to be running out of food soon. The day I had chafing issues on the Sierra trip was when it was raining and things got soaking wet. And I'm pretty much soaking wet due to sweat, so it's probably the thing. Hopefully I can rehab it overnight. Okay, I am filled up for the night. I already matched my mileage from yesterday. It's kind of frustrating because physically I could do quite a bit more, but this chafing thing is having me needing to stop pretty much as quick as I can. I've been doing whatever I can to manage it, but you know, cream, new underwear, cleaning the area. Sometimes I just end up having to stop. So I'm just an okay through hiker. So I went off trail a little before Devil's Gulch and managed to make something work. This is like the style I did on the ADT a lot, just going into random forest. This will work. If things start flooding with rain, I should be okay since I'm on a slope. And hopefully I can rehab this chafing by morning. And I also want to look through my food and see if I have enough where I can stretch it another day or if I have to get creative here. So, not the happiest day, but is what it is. Home sweet home. Also, interestingly enough, I'm under a tree canopy here, and I was able to send my inReach and message using the iPhone with very little delays, which surprises me because up in the Sierra I had a mostly clear sky and I was struggling at the time. It's odd.